Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Swagger Media Company. Swagger Magazine and Media is a lifestyle, cultural empowerment magazine and media source, both online and print, founded in 2010, that also acts as a PR and branding boutique, providing services to small business owners. Catering to Black women, this Black woman-owned company is committed to giving back to our communities and helping our girls to become self-sufficient trailblazers. Like, subscribe, advertise, or become a partner with them on swagher.net and tell them Girl Which Way sent you. Hello and welcome to the Girl Which Way podcast, the show that exists because life is a journey, but you still need direction. Grab your girls and get ready because each episode we will be talking about our real life issues, answering questions, and building solid relationships with one another as we heal and learn. I'm your host, your girl, Shalia Vinny, and today we're going to be talking about emotional vampires. We'll discuss the ins and outs of dealing with people that seek to drain our mental and emotional energy and how to overcome them. They dim our light. They bring us down. They suck the life out of us. The sad part is, some of us are so used to the dysfunction that we don't even realize it's happening or how much it affects us. What am I talking about? Emotional vampires, aka a person who preys ruthlessly on others. Some of you might recognize them as being parasites, or a person who habitually relies on or exploits others but gives nothing in return. Vampire, parasite, whatever you call them, it's all the same. They come into our lives disguised as loved ones who care about us, when the truth is, they care about what we can do for them and how we can show up for them. The relationship is never mutually beneficial because their job is to take whatever they can because they know your heart leads you to give. They expect you to pour out your cup to fill theirs and you can't figure out why you're feeling so drained. Girl, it's because you're walking around here with half a cup because you didn't give everything you had to them. Oh, and please don't be in need of any support in return because they will quickly show you that you are your own best friend, like Beyonce said. They're slick and they use a bevy of tactics to get their way from you. These people are skilled at getting what they want by any means and they don't play fair. It's super hard to detach from them because sometimes we call them names like mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, best friend, Lil JJ from around the way. And we have a deep emotional and loyal ties to these people that makes it hard to put our foot down and demand the respect we deserve. So we tiptoe around them and in turn stress the mess out of ourselves because that's family. They're my people. No, they're not. Your people would never. These people you dealing with are their own people. And please believe me when I tell you that your feelings are all by their design. They have manipulated the mess out of you to keep you in their lives. Oh, but we're about to clean house today. Today. So what exactly does it mean to manipulate? To manipulate is to handle or control, typically in a skillful manner. Manipulation is an emotionally unhealthy psychological strategy used by people who are incapable of asking for what they want and need in a direct way. So they play you out and use all kind of skills and emotional tactics to mind freak you into doing what they want. And how do they do this? So one of the ways they do this is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a term used to identify manipulation that gets people to question themselves, their reality, their memory, or their thoughts. A manipulative person might twist what you say and make it about them. They hijack the conversation or make you feel like you've done something wrong when you know that you really haven't. These people are crazy. They really will have you out here questioning yourself and feeling guilty about something you have no business feeling guilty about. You be out here like, you know what? I didn't have to yell at them like that. Sure, they lied and sold me out for $1, but I was probably wrong. And they will let you. They will sit there and take advantage of this. Another thing they do is pity. Some people are very good at playing the victim to manipulate you. They pretend to be fragile or needy because they hope to appeal to your compassion, and hopefully it makes you feel guilty. They always have an excuse for why they can't do something or how they got to this messed up point. Another thing they do is subtle intimidation. Intimidation doesn't necessarily involve shouting or, direct threats or, even putting their hands on you. Manipulators are experts at putting fear in you. They just make subtle suggestions. They tell you why you should act a certain way, and then they remind you about the consequences if you don't. So it really looks like they got your back, but what they're actually doing is trying to set your mind up so you can fear and do what they want. Another thing they do is creating a fake conflict. They're always upset about the smallest little things. They try to manipulate you to avoid taking any accountability. They act this way so that you won't call them out on their crap and they don't have to be wrong. Then you end up thinking that you are responsible for the conflict and they walk away untouched again. And the best part, they get away with it every time. Another thing they do is playing off of your insecurities. Insecurity is another one of those feelings that people take advantage of when they want to manipulate you. They do it by identifying those touchy little situations that they know you have weaknesses about or you lack self-confidence or self-love about. Then they play off of those dirty little secrets that you told them in confidence. They take advantage of it all, and then they have you out here feeling worse. Oh, another thing they do, they like to play dumb. They pretend not to understand anything. People who play dumb pretend they don't know something that they do know or that they can't do something that they actually can do. They want you to do all of their dirty work because you quote unquote do it better. In other words, they put all their work on other people so they don't have to do anything because they're supposedly worse at it. Nah, you gonna learn today. Another thing they do, pushing their issues onto you. It's their problem, but it becomes your problem. Your life could be going just fine and you could be in a good mental space. Then all of a sudden, you find yourself caught up. I used to be up all night, stressed out, trying to solve other people's problems. I was so invested in them that it felt right to help them out of their problems because, they needed help, and not even thinking about the fact that they purposely got themselves into these situations. I was so tired of bailing people out, y'all. I mean, oh my God, it took a toll on me. There was this time when I was listening to Steve Harvey, and he talked about when people call him with an issue. He said he waits 2 weeks to call people back, and he plays it off like, hey, player, what you need? You called me 2 weeks ago, and people be like, oh, you know what, man? Yeah, I took care of that. I figured it out. And he would hang up like, good. And at first I was like, that's kind of messed up. But then, oh my God, I understand that so much now. It's not being cruel. It's just letting people manage their own lives, as they should. So a few more sneaky things that these people do in case you still haven't realized who I'm talking about yet. These are the people that you genuinely try to help, but it always backfires. They turn everything around and are always the victim. It's always your fault. You should have done better. You should have done things differently. They only do things for you to throw it in your face later. Like, okay, look, if you're going to do something for me, do it for me. And don't have any leverage about it later. Don't use it as leverage later. Just do it because it's the kindness of your heart. You know what I mean? That's not what these people do. They can't do anything for you in private. They have to tell everybody about what they just did for you, even when they know it should be private. But oh my God, they'll lose their minds if you told their business. They can't hold water. You can't trust them. They can't keep a secret to save their lives. Any intimate piece of info you divulge to them will be passed around as soon as you hang up, and they never know how other people found out. Yeah, I bet you don't. What a mystery. I just don't know how this could have happened. Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Swagger Media Company. Swagger Magazine and Media is a lifestyle, cultural empowerment magazine and media source, both online and print, founded in 2010, that also acts as a PR and branding boutique, providing services to small business owners. Catering to Black women, this Black woman-owned company is committed to giving back to our communities and helping our girls to become self-sufficient trailblazers. Like, subscribe, advertise, or become a partner with them on swagher.net and tell them Girl Which Way sent you. So, we've been talking about emotional vampires and the tactics they use to manipulate us. But now let's talk about when enough is enough. Here are 5 ways to know when you've had enough. Number 1, you feel anxious when they call. You know this. Whenever you see that name on your caller ID, you start feeling your heart rate increasing, your palms start sweating, and you start debating on whether or not you're going to answer the phone. You want to send it to voicemail, but you don't want them to know you declined the call, so you just let it ring all the way through until your voicemail comes on. Chances are they call right back, and then you go through the same process again, only to find a message on your social media talking about, you don't see me calling you? Damn you, Facebook. They saw me active online. Now you got to play it off. Like, who has this kind of time? You know, this is not healthy. Number 2, you get a literal headache when you have to deal with him. You know you're going to see them at the end of the day. You've agreed to call them after work or school. Basically, you just know for sure that somehow you're going to interact with them at some point during the day. Don't you just start to dread it? Like you get a literal headache or your stomach hurts all day just at the thought of how this conversation is going to go? What kind of love is this? Number 3, you find yourself purposely avoiding and dodging them. You ask questions like, who all gonna be there? When you know the truth is, you only want to know if this person is coming, because if there's even a chance you might run into them, you're not going to be able to make it. You would do whatever you can just to avoid them, even if it means putting yourself in an inconvenience, because you know dealing with them is the biggest inconvenience possible. So one time I was trying to avoid someone so bad that they showed up at my house unannounced, and all the cars were in the driveway. Oh my God, y'all. So I tried to turn off all the lights and TVs. I threatened to kill everybody in the house if they made a sound. We just laid there motionless and let them knock while our phones were on silent. And then later on, I had to explain why we were home, like, why it looked like we were home, but we didn't answer the door. Like, this is a whole mess. So number 4, you feel better when you don't talk to them. You ever just not talk to them for like a week or longer? Don't you notice how much your entire mood shifts? Like how you start feeling better? You can't even figure out why until your phone rings the next time and all those old feelings come crashing back. Number 5, and this one should really be just like the green light you need. I mean, I don't know what else it can take. Number 5, if they walked out of your life, you wouldn't even be mad. Like for some reason, you're afraid to walk away first. So during that time, when you're not talking to them, you might actually realize you wouldn't miss them if they left your life or unfriended you. You'd probably be relieved. If this is true, why do you torture yourself? Don't you think it's time to walk away, or run, whatever works best for you? So how do we deal with these people? What is it that we can do? You have to establish some boundaries. Don't answer calls at certain times. Let them figure out their own problems. Maybe you need to take a break from them altogether to think things through. I once blocked someone close to me for like a week just to give my mind some rest. The first week went so well, I added another. It was magical. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so magical. So let's say you do still have to deal with them. So if you do still have to deal with them, just listen and observe, but do not absorb. Meaning don't make yourself responsible for anyone else's feelings or problems. I don't have the time to carry someone else's baggage with mine. It's just too heavy, okay? Listen, life is way too short to spend with people who see you as an opportunity or their lifeline. If you are not getting back what you put out, take it all back and keep it for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. You need to break away from emotional vampires. Watch how much better you start to feel once you have rid yourself of their drama. It doesn't mean you have to hate them or never talk to them again. You have clearly seen who they are, what they're about, and how that makes you feel. You know they are no good for you. Distance yourself. There's no shame in that. If you've been needing a sign, here it is. Your thoughts and energy have been in shambles because of them, and this is how we repair them. You can love somebody all day long, but just because you love them doesn't mean you have to allow them to take you through hell. What kind of one-sided love is that anyway? Nah, love them from a distance. Matter of fact, love them from way over there. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye. Mama, daddy, sister, cousin, Lil JJ, Pookie, and them. Listen, when you find someone who is genuine and has your back, you don't abuse them because they are rare. And the older you get, the more you begin to realize this. It is 2021. I don't care who it is. If they jeopardize your peace and wreak havoc on your emotions, cut them loose. Doesn't matter how long they've been in your life, close family, or friends. At this point, it could be your mama. Mama should have known better. Let's normalize asserting our boundaries and pushing back. Gone are the days of being silent and accepting whatever anyone threw at us for the sake of peace, family ties, or being Christian. You can peace out in the name of Jesus, respectfully. Shoot, tell them to try Jesus, not your patience. Today's show was brought to you by Swagger Magazine and Media Company. Please rate the show on your streaming platform and share it with one person who you think needs to hear it and ask them to do the same. Remember, good, better, best. Never let it rest. To your good is better and your better is best. Until next time, your friend and motivator, Shalia. Bye.